and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
President, Mr. Cashman.
Here.
Vice President, Mr. Persing.
Here.
Secretary, Mr. Anderson.
Here.
Treasurer, Mr. Griffiths.
Here.
Mr. Cook.
Here.
Mr. Krieger.
Here.
Mrs. Miller. Here. Mrs. Rhodes.
Here.
Mr. Shuey.
Here. Okay, student recognition.
Okay, we have both of our administrators from an administrator from each building here tonight to give a report. We do not have any students of the month in attendance, with it being middle of summer, so should be shorter tonight, but we're going to turn it over to Mr. Carnuccio for middle high school.
Okay, so just end of the year, some end of the year stuff here. Most of the stuff you guys are already aware of, but we had our awards program on Wednesday, May 29th. We had about 50 students who received some form of award or scholarship, which was great to see. So graduation obviously was held on Friday, May 31st. About 135 graduates I think we had. Right now what's going on, we have summer school taking place. It's week 2 of summer school. We have about 60 students enrolled right now in summer school, and that will go till July 5th. So we have that in full gear. ESY just started with Mr. Glozik. I know she's not here, but ESY, our special ed students, are starting this week. They started that. We are starting to look at our scheduling for next school year, getting together to do scheduling taking place. So we're in full gear with scheduling. Mr. Hagenbach put a survey out to our staff, some safety concerns if anybody had any, our teachers and staff members. So we got a list of some of the things that they had, concerns about. We're going to go over through that and see if anything else we can address for start next school year. And back to school night. So our back to school night will be Thursday, August 15th. So that's it right now.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Carnuccio. Mr. Zimmerman is here on behalf of the elementary.
We had a great end of the year. We had our kindergarten graduation, which was always a really good time. Kind of neat little thing for the kindergarten kids. We also had our 6th grade celebration at the end of the year, kind of closing up shop with 6th graders being promoted on to 7th grade. We also have not summer school, but we call it Indian camp, where we have approximately 40 to 50 kids come in. Same time frame, begun around July 5th. We're here Monday through Thursday. We have a STEM and Lego camp as well that kind of piggybacks off that in the afternoon. And Mrs. Neary and myself are starting to look at scheduling kind of a big push with our PBIS and MTSS structures. And we're also talking with Mrs. Kumar this week back and forth. We're piloting a science program, K to 3, this year as well. So we're working on a training for that with the teachers, and we're kind of excited, to see where that goes as well.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Zimmerman.
Mr. Carnuccio, back to school night starts August 15th at what time?
I want to say 6:30. I want to double check to make sure it's
Okay.
that time, but
Was it 13th or 15th?
15th.
Yep. I believe the elementary has, you guys have kindergarten that night, so I'll have to find out exact what time.
Okay. Good.
Yep, good.
Citizens' comments?
Yeah, I just want to thank the supervisor of maintenance. I come out today and asked about the ditch that they down there. Well, this is the first time that they didn't do nothing. He come down right away, which I appreciate it, and he's gonna take all the brush and all that so the water will flow down freely without getting blocked up. But he really I was surprised he come down that quick.
Yeah, he did. He actually said when they told him that you were in, he said, I'm on it right away. So.
I mean, I was surprised. A guy come down, started doing it, and he said Monday they'll go in and clean everything else out. But I was just afraid because if we get a heavy rain, with all that brush and trees are starting to grow in the canal, that would back up and then it would flood the streets again.
Yeah.
But I appreciate him coming down like he did.
I'll let him know too.
Thank you. Okay, work session.
Just want to report, I thought the graduation ceremony was very classy. I thought our graduates did a nice job. I want to thank our staff, our administration, the class advisors, school board members who were part of that. It was a very nice night, and congratulations to our class of 2024. And also just want to mention too, how proud I was of the insert in the news item with the yearbook pictures of our students, the graduates. I thought they looked very classy and professional, and so I just, want to recognize that, and I don't want to miss anybody. So anybody that had their hand in graduation or any of the end of year activities, from school board down to people that help set chairs up for things, I appreciate it, and thank you for a job well done. That's all.
Okay. Moving on, old business. Is there a motion to approve item 5.01?
Motion. Second.
On the question. As many of those are in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Motion carries unanimously. I have a motion to accept item 5.02.
Motion.
Second. On the question. As many of those are in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Motion carries unanimously. We have a motion to authorize item 5.03.
Motion. Second.
On the question. Roll call, please.
Mr. Shuey.
Yes.
Mr. Anderson.
Yes.
Mr. Cook.
Yes.
Mr. Griffiths.
Yes.
Mr. Kashner.
Yes.
Mr. Krieger.
Yes.
Mrs. Miller.
Yes.
Mr. Prusing.
Yes.
Mrs. Rhodes.
Yes.
Any correspondence?
Yes, actually, we do have correspondence this month. This is from the Northumberland Snyder Special Olympics. On behalf of, and this is from Arden Miller, who's the head coach for the swim program with the Special Olympics. On behalf of the Northumberland Snyder Special Olympics of Pennsylvania swim team, I want to thank the Shamokin Area School District for continued support of our program. Thanks to the district, we have had Friday night practices at the pool since 2004. We have also been able to host 17 invitational swim meets, providing swimmers from other Special Olympics programs an opportunity to compete. Our meet offers fundamental 15-yard events for swimmers who are just beginning their athletic journey and for those adults who are insecure and unable to swim traditional events. It is important to give all athletes a chance to shine, and the use of the district pool allows this to happen. Thank you again for the continued support of the Northumberland Snyder Special Olympics Pennsylvania Aquatics Program. Sincerely, Arden Miller. So,
Nice, thank you. Okay, moving on, new business. There's a motion to accept item 5.01.
Motion.
7.01?
What did I say?
5.
Sorry, 7.01,
Motion.
Second. On the question. As many of those are in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Motion carries unanimously. The motion to accept item 7.02.
Second.
On the question. As many of those are in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Motion carries. I got this one. Is there a motion to approve item 7.03?
Motion.
Second.
On the question. Roll call, please.
Mr. Anderson.
Yes.
Mr. Cook.
Yes.
Mr. Griffiths.
Yes.
Mr. Kashner.
Yes.
Mr. Krieger.
Yes.
Mrs. Miller.
Yes.
Mr. Prusing.
Yes.
Mrs. Rhodes.
Yes.
Mr. Shuey.
Motion to accept item 7.04.
Motion. Second.
On the question. Roll call, please.
Mr. Cook.
Yes.
Mr. Griffiths.
Yes.
Mr. Kashner.
Yes.
Mr. Krieger.
Yes.
Mrs. Miller.
Yes.
Mr. Prusing.
Yes.
Mrs. Rhodes.
Yes.
Mr. Shuey.
Yes.
Mr. Anderson.
Yes.
We have a motion to approve item 7.05.
Motion.
Second.
On the question. Roll call, please.
Mr. Griffiths.
Yes.
Mr. Kashner.
Yes.
Mr. Krieger.
Yes.
Mrs. Miller.
Yes.
Mr. Prusing.
Yes.
Mrs. Rhodes.
Yes.
Mr. Shuey.
Yes.
Mr. Anderson.
Yes.
Mr. Cook.
Yes.
May I have a motion to approve item 7.06
Motion. Second.
on the question? Roll call, please.
Mr. Kashner.
Yes.
Mr. Krieger.
Yes.
Mrs. Miller. Yes. Mr. Persing.
Yes.
Mrs. Rhodes.
Yes.
Mr. Shuey.
Yes.
Mr. Anderson.
Yes.
Mr. Cook.
Yes.
Mr. Griffiths.
Yes.
May I have a motion to approve item 7.07
Motion. Second.
on the question? Roll call, please.
Mr. Krieger.
Yes.
Mrs. Miller. Yes. Mr. Persing.
Yes.
Mrs. Rhodes.
Yes.
Mr. Shuey. Mr. Anderson.
Yes.
Mr. Cook.
Yes.
Mr. Griffiths.
Yes.
Mr. Kashner.
Yes. May I have a motion to approve item 7.08
Motion. Second.
on the question? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Miller. Yes. Mr. Persing.
Yes.
Mrs. Rhodes.
Yes.
Mr. Shuey.
Yes.
Mr. Anderson.
Yes.
Mr. Cook.
Yes.
Mr. Griffiths.
Yes.
Mr. Kashner.
Yes.
Mr. Krieger.
Yes.
May I have a motion to approve item 7.09
Motion. Second.
on the question? Roll call, please.
Mr. Persing.
Yes.
Mrs. Rhodes.
Yes.
Mr. Shuey.
Yes.
Mr. Anderson.
Yes.
Mr. Cook.
Yes.
Mr. Griffiths.
Yes.
Mr. Kashner.
Yes.
Mr. Krieger.
Yes.
Mrs. Miller. Yes.
May I have a motion to approve item 7.10
Motion.
Second.
on the question? As many of those are in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Motion carries unanimously. Motion to approve item 7.11
Motion.
Second.
on the question. As many of those are in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Motion carries unanimously. Congratulations. May I have a motion to approve item 7.12
Second.
on the question. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Rhodes.
Yes.
Mr. Shuey.
Yes.
Mr. Anderson.
Yes.
Mr. Cook.
Yes.
Mr. Griffiths.
Yes.
Mr. Kashner.
Yes.
Mr. Krieger.
Yes.
Mrs. Miller. Yes. Mr. Persing.
Yes.
May I have a motion to approve or disapprove in item 7.13?
And waive.
If it's gonna
And wait, where does that say that?
On the second.
Motion approve
Second.
And waive
and waive.
Second.
on the question. Can highlight that. Roll call, please.
Mr. Shuey.
Yes.
Mr. Anderson.
Yes.
Mr. Cook.
Yes.
Mr. Griffiths.
Yes.
Mr. Kashner.
Yes.
Mr. Krieger.
Yes.
Mrs. Miller. Yes. Mr. Persing.
Yes.
Mrs. Rhodes.
Yes.
May I motion to approve item 7.14?
Motion. Second.
On the question. As many of those are in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Motion carries unanimously. May I have a motion to approve item 7.15?
Motion.
Second.
On the question. Roll call, please.
Mr. Anderson.
Yes.
Mr. Cook.
Yes.
Mr. Griffiths.
Yes.
Mr. Kashner.
Yes.
Mr. Krieger.
Yes.
Mrs. Miller. Yes. Mr. Persing.
Yes.
Mrs. Rhodes.
Yes.
Mr. Shuey.
Yes.
May I have a motion to approve item 7.16?
Motion.
Second.
On the question. Roll call, please.
Mr. Cook.
Yes.
Mr. Griffiths.
Yes.
Mr. Kashner.
Yes.
Mr. Krieger.
Yes.
Mrs. Miller. Yes. Mr. Persing.
Yes.
Mrs. Rhodes.
Yes.
Mr. Shuey.
Yes.
Mr. Anderson.
Yes.
Moving on to personnel. May I have a motion to approve, oh, sorry, I'm sorry.
Just a couple of changes on the personnel agenda. If you look at item 8.14, the metal detector person, Leonard Sacco, his rate is $14 per hour, and the rest are as listed at $30 per hour. Item 8.22, Ed Bailey's name should be removed from the varsity football coach staff. And item 8.20, the sentence, the last sentence, the second sentence, which is the last sentence in 8.20 should be removed. Everybody got that?
Sir, thank you. May I have a motion to approve all personnel items in motions 8.01 through 8.25 as amended?
Motion. Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Griffith.
Yes.
Mr. Cashner.
Yes.
Mr. Krieger.
Yes.
Mrs. Miller. Yes. Mr. Persing.
Yes.
Mrs. Rhodes.
Yes.
Mr. Shuey. Mr. Anderson.
Yes.
Mr. Cook.
Yes.
Board member reports.
I'll go first. I just want to say, it was really nice. I always love commencements. It's one thing I love about being in education is commencements, and I thought the commencement ceremony was fantastic. And then one of the things we recognize today is the people who won alumni awards. So we gave away $406,800 at the alumni banquet among 23 graduates. So just so everyone knows, we have the oldest continually running alumni association in the country. And this is one of the reasons we have that. So it's not a small amount of money our students get as they graduate.
Very good. Thank you.
Okay, just some fact. What does it cost us to educate a kid? What do we spend, like, regular ed?
I think it's between 9 and 11,000.
9 and 11. And what about special ed?
Special ed varies. You have some that come in below 25,000. You have some that are in a tier between 25 and 50. You have some that are above 50,000. Without looking at that report, I couldn't tell you exactly.
Okay, that's fine, just think so. This guy wrote a letter to the editor, it's Mr. Kyle, to Sunbury, and he had some good figures in. House Bill 1422 has the potential to save local school districts $456 million in payments to cyber charter schools. Now, he has Lewisburg's figures in there, but I guess we spend, what, 12 million, or 12,000 we send for a regular ed student, which you're telling me we spend 9 here. So we're sending 12,000 for regular and 25,000 for special ed to cyber schools. Okay? No transparency there. They don't have, and he gets it, it's, and under the bill, in 2024-25 school year, the following 2 years, district payments to cyber charter schools would be fixed at $8,000 per regular student and $13,120 for special needs students. That's a big savings right there for schools. This would result in annual savings of the taxpayer of over $1.6 million in these 4 area school districts. That was Warrior Run, so we're going to save a ton. In addition to capping cyber charter payments, HB 1422 would also add much-needed accountability requirements for these schools. During the 2021-22 school year, charters and cyber schools spent $16.8 million of taxpayer dollars for such things as TV, radio, and billboard advertising, school-branded items including clothing, mugs, lapel pins, and custom magnets, gift cards for students, family parties, and sponsorships of minor league baseball and hockey teams. These non-educational expenses would be prohibited under this legislation. Further, these schools would be subject to many of the same regulations currently required of public schools, including providing 180 days of instruction, participation in Pennsylvania State Assessment System, submission of annual financial reports, and limits on the amount of unassigned fund balances. Trustees would be subject to restrictions on nepotism and conflicts of interest, and the schools would be subject to open meeting and right to know laws. Home Bill 1422 must now be passed in Pennsylvania Senate. Okay. Mrs. Stair says we jumped the gun, okay, and she's on it, so maybe she's on this. To me, that sounds like a no-brainer. It sounds like the playing field will be level for everybody. You know, no more minor league, we're scratching, she talks about our track. Our track was only a one-time expense. Cyber school is an every year expense for us, and it's growing every year. And this guy, whoever this Timothy Eller is, I guess he's an ultimate lobbyist that all of a sudden is writing letters to the editor. I can pull up, Google, any superintendent in the state of Pennsylvania and see what his salary is. I couldn't find nothing on Mr. Eller, and I guarantee you he's not making $150,000 a year. So, at the end of his letter, too, Mr. Kyle puts, local taxpayers should contact Senators Gene Yaw and Linda Schlegel. I think that's the same thing I did last month, and I was called a bully. I wonder if Schlegel and Yaw called Mr. Kyle a bully. Sounds like Kyle was doing the same thing. If they're representing us, represent us. Don't call us a bully if you're thin-skinned. And the other thing she also said is we jumped the gun on raising taxes, that we jumped the gun. We have till June 30th. Every school district in Pennsylvania has till June 30th to pass the budget. Down in Harrisburg, they can just keep kicking the can down the road to the point where we have to get a Tran loan to meet our obligations till they get done playing games down there. So I'm not saying she don't know what she's doing, but maybe she ought to go back to that new legislation training they have, that she knows these rules instead of throwing things out there. But that's why we had to do what we had to do, because we had passed our budget. We have a deadline to pass our budget. So maybe down in Harrisburg, they should have the same rules that we have to follow. Things might get done down there. That's all I have.
Thank you.
I just wanted to thank the elementary staff and administration and the kindergarten staff for a great kindergarten graduation ceremony. I thought it was well done, and everyone in attendance had a great time, as well as the high school graduation was great. All staff and administration that was present and put a lot of time and effort into it. It was great. And congratulations to all the graduates, of course, and the valedictorian, salutatorian, and all the award winners.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Yeah, oh, go ahead.
These cyber charter schools have long been a pet peeve of mine. We offer a free public education here. Those who choose to send their children to these cyber charter schools, in my opinion, should be obligated to pay the cost themselves, just like any other private school.
Thank you, Ms. Shuey.
Okay. I would just like to thank all of the people that helped out with I don't have the amount of years we've been doing this. Speaking about the coaches of the volleyball program, but we run a youth volleyball league, which is a co-ed league, and it also involves kids from other schools if they're interested. We have kids from Lourdes that play. We have kids from the Ashland area. So we had about 150 kids this year. I'm just throwing it on. I don't know if that's the exact amount, but it's a very successful program. The kids love it. We get a lot of feedback from parents, and this is one of them. And
Grandparent.
and grandparents. Parent, other parent, yeah. But, yeah, we get a lot of good feedback. We got a lot of good feedback from the other areas that came in that had kids playing. They loved it. They absolutely loved it. We have it's not a competitive league on purpose. We want these kids to learn the sport, learn teamwork, learn responsibility, and learn to handle pressure to a certain degree. And the kids really loved it. Every kid is allowed to play. Every kid plays. And it's just the first step of the process. But it really is, it's really good. You have to come out and see it. You can vouch for it. And it's just a good atmosphere. It's just a really good atmosphere. The kids love it, and parents love it. We had a lot of volunteers. We have kids from our volleyball program that coach. We have, I help out coach and I help referee, and so does my wife, the head coach, and it's just it's a rewarding experience. And I'll tell you one thing I'll say about our kids. Our kids are absolutely wonderful. I mean, they are so well behaved. I have to give a lot of credits to the parents, to the administration, to the teachers. They are just a wonderful group to work with, and I'm very proud of them. So I just want to thank everybody for that was part of that.
Thank you. Anybody else? Executive?
I've got nothing to say. I'm the only one that did say nothing.
Speak.
An executive session was held for personnel issues on Tuesday, June 11th, 2024, from 5:30 p.m. to 8 p.m., and Thursday, June 20th, 2024, from 5:30 p.m. to 7:20 p.m., prior to the rescheduled monthly board meeting. Motion to adjourn.